Make your season bright with today's Talk Back Tuesday on the Fan. Open KFAN on the iHeartRadio app. Hit the red microphone icon. 30 seconds or less. Tell us which Viking has been the biggest gift to the team this year. Winners selected all day long. KFAN.com keyword contest for details.
And now, the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox. He's Roachy. He's Alan Roach from out Mile Highway. I understand heading to the cities for the Christmas life changer, and he's also a Slayton, Minnesota native. So he's probably gonna reconvene with some family and friends. And here comes the voice of U.S. Bank Stadium and Ball Arena, Alan Roach at Mile High Roach via X. What's going on there, Roachy?
Ho, ho, ho. Good morning, PA.
Green Giant. Did you pull over on the side of the road heading to that windy airport out Denver way?
I'm on my way to Denver International Airport, home of the 11-year construction plan, and I'm currently at I-70 and Federal.
Have you ever, when you go down those escalators or about ready to head up the escalators and you're by those trams and you hear, I don't know what you say, the white zone is for loading and unloading only. You know what I mean? Have you ever been talking to somebody and then they hear your voice on the overhead and they're like, wow, that's weird?
Kind of purposely avoid that whole thing. I don't ever talk. When my kids were little, when they were, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old and I'm standing on the train holding their hand as we're coming up to a stop, I would reach down and look at them and say, hold on, please. And then right after that, the hold on, so please good. Would come over the intercom of the train. And I'd get some pretty good looks. And, of course, my kids would go, Dad.
That's so good. But, I mean, you're prompt. I mean, you're all squared away and stuff, man. I don't think you like to rush. And I know I don't. But, I mean, at Denver International Airport, sometimes that I-70 traffic can just sneak up on somebody, and so maybe you're running a couple of seconds late. So have you ever had to bellow for a tram from like 20 feet away? Ma'am, can you please hold that door? I'm running late. And then they hear, hold on. That would be so sweet.
There's a message that says, if the doors are closing, first you hear that the doors are closing, and then if somebody, is still in the way or getting on the train or has a backpack in the way, and the doors have to open back up, it cues a message that says, you are delaying the departure of this train. And so every now and then I'll stick my foot in there just because I like to hear that one.
Well, the worst thing about Colorado sports teams doing well is when you get on those trams, and I'm out there several times a year, it's instead of hearing, hold on tight, ma'am, get your foot out of the door, you hear, hi, this is Cale McCarr, and welcome to Denver International Airport. Thanks for coming out and supporting all the sports teams. Or, hi, this is Haven Moses. Or, hi, this is Jamal Murray. When the teams are doing well, we lose the Vox on the tram.
Yeah, that's a message that is always there and always changing. And, maybe sometimes it's Rick Upchurch. Maybe it's Carl Mecklenburg, some former Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Alan Roach at Mile High Roach via X. He's on the side of the road about ready to go to the airport. So the game's Thursday. This is Tuesday. You don't normally come back till Wednesday. So the assumption here is we're going to have some Christmas Eve festivities down Slayton Way with friends and family and maybe the Winter family.
Not Trevor Winter, yeah. I'm not sure. Where do you shop for that guy? I'm not going to Slayton. I will be going to St. Louis Park tomorrow and spend some time with my sister's family and my daughter. I have a sleigh full of Christmas goodies as we speak, and look forward to some family time indeed.
And a week from Friday, sources indicate to me before the Green Bay Packers game, we're going to have the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox at 11 a.m. Buffalo Wild Wings, Eagan for the Friday football feast. That's a week from Friday. Can you confirm or deny?
I will be. I'll be flying in on the 1st on Thursday. So I am excited being a a rookie at the football feast. And my wife is very excited too, although, I have to get her out of bed on her vacation from our hotel, but she's very excited to meet, God's cartoon character. So I hope to bring, my lovely bride along.
Please do. Buffalo Wild Wings might put you to work. We might hear, "Ma'am, your 6 lemon pepper wings are ready." I won't let him do that, but I can't wait to see you. Nordo's excited to talk to you. I'm battling a little something right now with my throat, and Nordo has a couple of questions for you, and here they are.
When I filled in a week ago, Mr. Roach, you were texting me during a segment as we were talking about respective blue line pairings. McCarr, of course, and Quinn Hughes doing the matchup. How happy are you, Avs fans? You just got to roll in. You caught us on a back-to-back. You absolutely waxed us the other day. Nobody's ever going to catch the Avs. Ball Arena, home of a Stanley Cup yet again. Where's your head at with your favorite hockey team and our favorite hockey team?
Yeah, Roachy.
So are you writing that one off as a schedule loss? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was back-to-back. It was tough. It was emotional the day before. And when it really mattered, of course, was Black Friday, and we took care of business in the shootout. So yesterday, we're gearing up for April and May games. You guys can have all the mid-December ones you want.
Well, be careful with that.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I'm a broken record. I know I've said it on this show before, and I say it to everybody. No matter what sport you're in, what season you're in hockey, you don't want to be the best team in the league in October, November, and December. That gets you absolutely nowhere. Maybe gets you a better playoff spot, but you need to be the best team in the league in April and May and June. And, the Avalanche over the last 5 years, we've been the best team in the league for 2 months at some point of the season. And it was only the 2022 season where we were the best team in the league in April and May. And that got us Lord Stanley. So, this team, yes, they're off to a dynamic start, a record-breaking start, a start that almost has never been equaled in league history. I heard a number the other day. The Avalanche, I think, are plus 60 in goal differential. What have we played? 33 games? So that means they've won every game by 2 goals. And the next closest team in goal differential is 30. So, yeah, the Avalanche right now are just off the charts. But again, if we get to March and the team is struggling or having injuries, no one's really going to look back and say, gee, we sure were good then. It's not going to do you any good once we get to where you need to be.
For those of you not clued into this, Alan Roach, the voice of U.S. Bank Stadium, so you've heard it there. He's also the voice of Ball Arena, does Super Bowls and every big spot event in the history of the world. Alan has done. And with Ball Arena, that's where the Colorado Avalanche play. And outside of the Vikings, that's his favorite team. And we're not mad at him for that. But when the Wild did beat the Avalanche on Black Friday, and Ballstat had a little celebration to him. It got under the skin of the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox, so much so that we're 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes before the Washington Commanders Minnesota Vikings game. I'm taping my stuff up. I'm highlighting the game calling depth chart. All of a sudden I hear, PA, I've arrived in Quinnesota, or PA, can you come say hello? And I walk up there. Oh, no, this was actually at Brian Harper's going away party last week. That's what it was at the Vikings Museum. PA, I brought something for you to see. You know what they were? 2 Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup winning rings.
Oh, come on.
That Roachy gets for being the Vox. He was just showing me do they have any of these in Quinnesota? Minnesota, it was just you're fantastic, Alan.
You get a ring, Mr. Roach?
Get multiple rings.
I have a ring from 2000 run and a ring from 2022, and I'm being fitted for a ring in 2026.
Yeah. All right, now here's the deal. All right, now I'm not a Vikings team employee. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm on a hired gun 1099 that's not preferred, but it's the lot in life God has given me, and I love calling Vikings games. So if the Vikings win a Super Bowl and the Wilfs waffle, the rings you and I will have for doing fan line and boxing the games from Continental Diamond, will have it'll have Justin Jefferson looking at it saying, "Dog, bro, where'd you get that thing? That's unbelievable." Andy and Revitology.
Oh, someday.
We just got to win the game first. Hey, last year, Alan, your Minnesota Vikings have not allowed a passing touchdown 6 consecutive games. Pretty good during the 2025 covenant, where yesterday Nordo and I were kind of like, where did we go wrong? I mean, 6 in a row for B-Flow with no passing touchdowns. Jefferson cracks Jarvis Landry's receptions over 6 years. He's going to get Moss's Christmas Day receiving yards over 6 years. I mean, Cashman has like 10 to 16 tackles every single game. Jalen Redmond has 6 sacks. Damn, man, that's just crazy, isn't it, Box?
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the locker room. It speaks to what everybody wants to call culture, and what Kevin O'Connell brought to the team and the players that they have. And I think it really puts an exclamation point on that, because you look around the league. I think, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I kind of looked at the schedule after the Sunday was over, and there were like 8 teams that were out of the playoffs already, and all of those teams lost, except the Vikings. And, it takes a lot to play this game, to put your body basically out in the middle of traffic on the freeway 45 times a day, and be able to get up for something that is not going to lead where you wanted the road to go at the beginning of the season. And the Minnesota Vikings have been that way forever. When we have a 6-win season, a 7-win season, and a disappointment, normally there's a bounce back the following year. And that does go to culture, and it goes to, the history of the Vikings. Hey, man, we're not reptiles or birds. We're Vikings.
We're Vikings. You are the best, Mile High Roach. Can't wait to see you on Thursday. Merry Christmas, and God bless you and your family. Thanks for the time, all right?
I look forward to seeing you at the football feast next weekend.
Yep. Can't wait. That's going to be good. See you, bud. Safe travels. Alan
Merry
Roach.
Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas, and to all a good night to the segment with Alan Roach, the voice of U.S. Bank Stadium and airports across the Great Divide. The white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah joins 9 to noon, 20 minutes from now. Don't leave.
It's a special holiday edition of the football feast this week. You can join PA, Nordo, Alec Lewis, Buffalo Wild Wings, Roseville as they get you set for a Christmas Day battle with the Lions, plus great eats. Your shot at prizes all morning long. Doors open at 8 a.m. Get all the details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Baby JJ's
12 days of a Vikings Christmas. We played it about an hour ago. If you missed it, one of our favorite parody bits we do each and every year. This time, Christmas season as it is, it's time for 12 days of a Vikings Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, Vikings fans. It's 9 to noon. I'm Paul Allen with Nordo. On the first day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me a pick for Murphy Jr. On the second day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 2 Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns and a pick for my guy, Byron Murphy Jr. On the third day of Christmas, our Vikings gave to us 3 different quarterbacks, just 2 TDs for Jets, and a pick for Byron Murphy Jr. Yes, sir. On the fourth day of Christmas, our Vikings gave to us 4 picks thrown by Brosmer. Give B-Flow 3 more years, 2 Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns, and a pick for Byron Murphy Jr. On the 5th day of Christmas, our Vikings gave to us 5 wins for JJ. 4 picks thrown by Max. Give B-Flow those 3 more years. Just 2 TDs for Jets. Finally, an interception for Byron Murphy Jr.
Yes, sir.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 6 sacks from Jalen Redmond. 5 wins for JJ McCarthy. 4 TDs for Oliver Oliver. Give B-Flow 3 more years right now. 2 Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns and an interception for Byron Murphy Jr. On the 7th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 7 dubs for the Skull, 6 sacks for Redmond,
5 wins for
JJ.
Go, kid!
4 TDs for Jalen Naylor, 3 different quarterbacks, 2 Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns, and finally an interception for number 7, Byron Murphy Jr. On the 8th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 8 nasty losses, 7 dubs for the Skulls, 6 sacks for Redmond, 5 wins for JJ, 4 TDs for Naylor. Just go ahead and give B-Flow 3 years right now. Only 2 TDs for Jets. What about that interception for Byron Murphy Jr.?
Yes, sir!
On the 9th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 9's foolish alter ego, 8 nasty losses. We only won 7 games. 6 sacks from Jalen Redmond, 5
dubs for
JJ, 4 TDs for Oliver, 3 different quarterbacks, only 2 TDs for Jets, and a pick for Byron Murphy Jr. On the 10th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 10 games with no Hundy for Justin, 9 nasty losses. We only won 7 games so far. 6 sacks for Jalen Redmond. 5, take it away.
Wins for JJ.
JJ. 4 TDs for Jalen Naylor. 3 different quarterbacks, just 2 TDs for Jets. But that pick at Meadowlands for Byron Murphy Jr. On the 11th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 11 games from Thielen. 10 games with no Hundy for Justin. 8 nasty losses, 7 dubs for the Skull, 6 sacks for 61, 5
wins for
JJ.
Let's go!
4 picks thrown by Max, 3 different quarterbacks, a couple of Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns, and a big interception for Byron Murphy Jr. On the 12th day of Christmas, my Vikings gave to me 12 million O-line combos, 11 days in Europe, 10 games with no Hundy for Justin, 9's injuries are a problem, 8 nasty losses, 7 dubs for the Skull, 6 sacks for Jalen Redmond. Take it away.
5 wins for JJ.
Hey, JJ. 4 TDs for Oliver and Naylor, 3 different quarterbacks, 2 Isaiah Rodgers touchdowns, and finally, a pick for my guy, Byron Murphy Jr.
12 days of a Vikings Christmas. You'll be able to podcast that shortly via the iHeartRadio app and PA's on GM Watch. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, part of X's and O's with head coach Kevin O'Connell on a weekly basis. Short week, so during short weeks, we get the general manager. So we're going to be checking in with Kwesi here next segment. But Brett, producing back at the 651 Carpets Plus studios, thanks as always. But, you know, we were looking at the NFL standings and scenarios and just kind of talking through it and how 2025, I don't want to say it's unique, but there's just, it's kind of boring, if that makes sense to you. Now, it's not boring to you. Your favorite team, is hanging on by a thread. You just need another victory. It's going to be tough though with this Jordan Love situation. I don't know if you can beat the Ravens, and then, it'll be a border battle week 18 to maybe decide whether you're in or out. But really, if you're looking at these standings right now, Denver, you know, in the AFC, we can go through that. It's Denver at the top spot right now. They're, just some sneaky tiebreaker related bits that keep them over the 12-3 Patriots. But in the AFC, it's like, okay, the Colts, we're watching them cart out Phillip Rivers, who's looked kind of freaking good, by the way, in his 2-game stint with Indy, but they got to win out. They need some help with the Chargers, so I guess that's not boring. But right now, the Texans are in the catbird seat at 10-5, and most likely will fill out the AFC playoffs card with everyone else at least clinching a playoff spot. Ravens they can win out, and they got Week 18 against the Steelers, but the only way the Ravens can get in, and then by nature of this, the Steelers as well, only way they're getting in is going to be as a division winner of the AFC North, and similarly on the NFC side, everyone's basically clinched except for that final spot. And it's either going to be the Packers or it's going to be the Lions. Now, Tampa, they can win out. They got to beat the Panthers. They'll win the NFC South. So there's some drama there. Losing that one in Carolina over the weekend, not good for Baker's bunch, but they have a chance to win out and still win the South. But your Packers, Brett, your Packers at 9-5-1, you get the Ravens, and then it's the border battle here. How much are you sweating whether or not your favorite team's going to find its way into that final wild card spot?
And good morning. A little bit. I was very panicked after the collapse where the Pack had a 99% chance to win the game with 3 minutes left and found a way to lose. Very similar, almost in the exact same fashion they lost in Seattle in 2014. Which Common still refers to as the greatest Vikings game of all time. It is boring in the sense that the only thing that's not at a 90 or above percent, according to NFL analytics, is the Panthers and the Bucks, who have a 57% chance to make the playoffs, according to the NFL. They like them. Yeah. But like Steelers 91, Texans 97, Green Bay 93. Yeah. So, and we've still got 2 games left to play. It's weird. I am stressed. I would like the Lamar thing changes things. But the Jordan Love thing changes things as well. So we'll see how Jordan Love, just a no good, very bad game. And I checked out of sports for the rest of the weekend because of it.
Maybe you guys said this while I was down the hall. You need the Vikings, right?
On Thursday, yeah.
On Thursday.
Yeah, they need us on. They do need us on Thursday indeed. It's simply enough. Lions got to win out. Packers got to lose out, and that's really. And then again, the Bucks still control their destiny. Win out, they'll be NFC South division champs. So it's kind of there aren't a ton of bits this season in terms of the final couple of weeks. We're just trying to get out alive, and maybe, you know what? Let's go beat those kiddies and spoil their postseason chances. And we're all bitter about how our season's gone. Let's spread some of that bitterness on an otherwise beautiful holiday. So that's where we're at playoff wise.
And let's chat with Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah for X's and O's next. X's and O's is in the air this week with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, the regular Tuesday guest. We have some short week stuff going on right now with a Christmas Day game at 3:30. So that's Thursday. And whenever we have short weeks taking place, the general manager is nice enough to stop by, which means we are nice enough to breach iHeart audio rules and play some Post Malone. Is it Post Malone and Sway Lee? Is that who that is? Yeah.
I think that's what that is.
So that Brett Blakemore, who's guiding the Great Ship Love Covenant back at KFAN, he'll pull that out of the podcast, and we'll move on with our lives here with X's and O's. And this is the first time you've been here since we have a second camera. That's Paige Yeager's camera. It's very tantamount to capture all 3 of my chins, and that'll be your camera there. And the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings joins us with Christmas Thursday. So at your household, do you guys load up the kids with gifts and toys and maybe a beginner's manual to learning predictive analytics for business forecasting and planning by something CPF Eric Wilson? And good morning.
Oh my God, that's too funny. You know, that reminds me of how I was brought up. You know, in Sega Genesis, I'm dating myself, was a video game system. I remember asking for my mom, and she said, "You can have it, but these are going to be your first games." It was Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, and there's like a third educational game. I didn't get mad, and that was not the first game.
Really?
But no, I am who I am, so I do a ton of little counting stuff with your son, because predictive analytics at the base level is a distance function. You're just counting at the end of the day, minimizing distance. So I try to get him counting and stuff like that. But you know what? I will talk about Christmas. I had probably one of my favorite moments last week where I felt like a dad. My wife asked me to put together one of his toys, and I kind of waited till the last second. She's like, "I'll have somebody else do it." And I was like, "You will not have somebody else do it. I'm going to do it myself." So I get home at probably 10 o'clock after a long day, and it looked like a stick figure drawing. I don't know what the instructions were. I was like, I'm set up to fail here. And she's like, "You should just go to bed," which was the wrong thing to say, because I was like, I'm never going to go to bed until I finish this. So I'm up till 1:30 putting together this what was it, like actually I don't want to say, just in case my son sees this, he's got to be surprised on Christmas Day. But
so did you put it together the right way?
it is functional. It is really functional, and it works. And it's rare. It's crazy how proud of yourself you are.
That's great.
And then also like this connection you feel to like, I just wanted to go up to every dad and be like, hey man,
Right.
me too.
Yeah.
I did it.
What if your wife had said, honey, the world needs white collar people too. We need somebody blue collar like Vern next door. Let's have him come over and put this thing together. That wouldn't have gone over well.
I would have tried to fix things in the house. That'd have been really bad for everybody.
When I was putting this thing together, the Beginner's Manual to Learning Predictive Analytics for Business Forecasting and Planning by Eric Wilson. Well, that's why I used it, because it was Eric Wilson, but not our Eric Wilson. But speaking of our Eric Wilson, we, Nordo and I last week, because he's been awesome, man. And, we're going to get into culture, and the way I'll phrase it outside of culture is, hey, human nature gets to win too, and you see some scores and some things from around the league, from teams not going to the playoffs, and you don't see it here. And that's culture, and that's Eric Wilson. And holy cow, the way he and Cashman are hitting right now. But with Eric, you doubled his pay, and it's not my business to be like, is that what it took to get him here? But he's won 3 in Green Bay after a handful of 1-year deals, got one here too. His first bonus in 2017 was $10,000. See, it makes me smile too. Yep. Like 500 and change a year, and Kwesi and crew roll in like, we want you, we need you. Let's take that 1-3 and make it a 2-6. And he came over here. That's great when things like that work out so well. Nice hit on Eric.
Yeah, it was a great job by the pro staff and the coaching staff. When that time of year, we've got to make sure that you're aligned, and especially that position. And Eric has just been an awesome addition. You're talking about somebody who also loves Minnesota. He had actually better offers and that he could have taken. He ended up coming here because he loves it here. Had a great first experience here. A lot of guys can relate to that. But the versatility on the ball, off the ball. How they use him is just a kind of a chess piece, and probably the most well-conditioned athlete I've ever been around.
Yeah.
Playing.
They can't make up the arms.
All defensive snaps, but special teams. I mean, at practice, he's taking all the reps at practice. He's helping the O-lineman after practice. He's shooting hoops afterwards. He's got a little game to him as well. So he's a unique person. We're really glad to add him.
With the just to give you a snapshot into Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's life. Bursich and I, day of the Cowboys game. It's a night game. We're sitting in one of these nooks at this cool hotel the team stayed at. And Kwesi walks by and he stops and he's cordial and he says hello. And, we're chatting about a bunch of different things. But then as he ended, the Browns were big underdogs at the Bears. But just the way you ended it, I'll never forget, because it gives us a glimpse into your life where you're like, you mentioned 3 or 4 things that could happen, and maybe the Browns will beat the Bears and keep playoff hopes alive, and it was a long shot. And so you went from that to like, all right, well, I got to go look at some people for the draft coming up. You said a specific position. I'll stay away from that. I got to go look at some guys for the draft. That right there in a nutshell is your life.
Yep. It's awesome. You're living in tomorrow, living in today, living in 2 weeks. That's the job. A lot is asked of you in that sense, but you got to make sure that you're in the right time space for the person who's in front of you. And what I mean by that is, sometimes with Kev, the way my mind works, I'm drifting. I want to talk about long-term things, and he's just trying to get through Wednesday practice, Thursday practice, and I always have to make sure I adjust to meet him in that space.
That's analogous for relationships,
no
too.
question.
Like men and women,
no
or
question.
Marriages or whatever.
No
it really
question.
is, right?
No question.
Honey, I don't feel well. I don't want to talk about June. With all due respect.
This job and as probably, and my relationship, obviously, they go together just to help you be a better person for both.
Kwesi's here with us for X's and O's with the final 2, and you can finish with a winning record. Vikings are 7-8, finish 9-8, got a winning record. The fan has learned. Why is that important, given no playoffs for the team are on the horizon this year?
It's disappointing that we aren't going to be playing in that tournament, because we talked earlier this year, before this season started, being the team that kind of probably needed to get going, but we'll be that team that nobody wants to play coming down here down the stretch. And look, the way our defense is playing, the way our offense is starting to click, and we're close to maybe being that. But it's a credit to Kevin and the culture he's built, how he can keep guys motivated, the people that we brought in here who love football. That's a cliche that I think gets said, but when a Josh Metellus decides to play through multiple injuries for multiple games for his team and comes in, doesn't want to be shut down. Like, those are the type of people that set programs. And so I do think it is important for us to continue to play good football, because also we're going to have a lot of these same players going to be here next year. So we're building something. I think all momentum is contained and it's real. And we got a lot of players, young quarterbacks, young receiver, young this, young that, veterans who are going to be here next year. And we're all building that cohesion towards what we want to be a better result next year.
And Brian O'Neill is analogous to what you just said. And here we are at MetLife, and it's 3 hours, about 2.5 hours before the game when I get down to the field, 2:15 maybe. Well, there he is down there with Tyler, with the medical staff, and Cooper might have been there, the offensive line coach, whomever. That's about 25% those guys play when they're doing that before the game. Oh, by the way, you're not going to the playoffs. Oh, by the way, it's cold. Oh, by the way, it's windy. Oh, by the way, whatever hurts. And then I chatted with him with a drive-by, as I call him, after the game about that. I mean, that's phenomenal, man. I mean, you talk about personal pride, pushing through things, not for yourself. There might be a little bonus there, who knows, but it's for others. It's a thy, not I approach to his career. He's become one of my favorite players in all my years calling games because of things like that.
Absolutely. I try never to throw this term around too often, but program player. That's what we mean by program player, the type of ability he has, but also the culture setting, what he does to uplift others and what he does to have that personal responsibility that I'm sure that was built long ago with his parents, his family. I haven't really met the people that are in his life, but that type of accountability.
Well, I met him in New Orleans.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago, and their dad and mom are straightforward.
Yeah,
he's straight East Coast.
That's where it comes from. And I have met his dad actually in the hotel one time, but that's where that probably comes from. Just that accountability to self and to team. That's awesome.
Can you imagine if your job at the highest level was the way high school parents for hockey players, athletes and stuff, where they all got an opinion. They're always yelling. They're always like, hey, play my son more, do this, Can you imagine if somebody came up to you and is like, my son's up at the end of the year. What are you thinking? Well, what would you do if that happened?
I mean, the parents just get replaced by agents. My job's probably not that different than that in that sense. Right. You understand it's human nature. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to play. They believe in it. They've gotten to this place where they're the 1% of the 1% of the 1% because there's a belief. There's a belief that they should be out there. So, just because they're on a field with other great players doesn't mean they don't think they should be playing. Right. So it's part of the job. It's great because, it
happens.
It happens. It absolutely happens.
That's the best.
It's just a great dynamic to me. I was kind of one of those I was like, I don't think I'm as good as that guy. I don't think I should be playing. So, I was kind of one of those realistic players. So it's good to be around the opposite.
Yeah, I've met some moms and dads this year, probably more this year than I have from the sideline work. Donovan Jackson's mom and dad, you can tell that why he squared away.
Absolutely.
Justin's dad too, Jefferson.
Absolutely.
And that's with all the media reports and social media, Justin's handling this well, and you see this in Seattle, he's sitting on a helmet and he's not happy. Okay, maybe in that moment he's not. But with Justin, when you really get to know him behind the scenes, man, he gets it. He wants more. Sure. He doesn't want to have 2 touchdowns. But he gets it from a thy, not I standpoint. And it never was a problem with Justin behind the scenes the way the season has gone.
Just unreal. I think, adversity reveals character. And a lot of the great things he's done, we can talk about ad nauseum. You could do a whole show and multiple shows on it, but
love it.
Stuff like this is what I'll remember, where everybody talks about the one catch, in 2022, but
Buffalo?
Not Buffalo. What was the game where he had it? We didn't end up winning the game, but he recovered a fumble. He hustled back 30 yards to recover a fumble, then made a great 4th down catch the next play. Mm-hmm. Things like that. People don't remember, but that's the ultimate competitor. So when they see the downside sitting on a cooler or whatever, it's the same person who the fire to win is just in him. And then the joyful guy off the field where that comes from his family, the upbringing, the great life that he has.
Yeah.
He's a special player. Again, another program player that we're so glad to have.
Now, Kevin O'Connell speaks today, Spearfish, about 1 o'clock, 1:10, 1:15, somewhere around there. 12:50, and we're going to carry it on KFAN.
Did you say Spearfish?
Yes, he's from Spearfish, South Dakota is my nickname for him.
It's his first time.
We should play basketball with him. And that there was a basketball player named James Johnson who played for the Miami Heat.
Really good martial arts guy, something
big time.
Yep.
Yeah, he might be a little off kilter sometimes, but they played against each other when James played in Montana and Sam played in Spearfish, and Sam was a really good South Dakota basketball player. I found this picture of James Johnson. just dunking on him.
It's not true. Is it out there?
Okay. But nickname Spearfish between us. So the point being here is that Kevin O'Connell, when he speaks, probably will offer some clarity on the quarterback situation into the Christmas Day game at 3:30. My quarterback question for the general manager is, despite the finger, what are you starting to see in McCarthy you're going to like moving forward?
There's just been growth moments. I try and make sure that my dialogue with him is weighted incredibly positive, because if you think about this world, you got the external world who's always going to be negative, and then you've got coaching who are going to be positive, but they're also going to coach him. So I try and always make sure I'm highlighting, hey man, this is a great thing that I'm seeing you're doing. Things like playing up in the pocket. A lot of young quarterbacks, when they get pressure in their face, they're trying to bail out the back. He's very good about getting up in the pocket, either to make scrambles or make good decisions. Some of those great plays that Kevin's already highlighted where, it's a play action shot play where he just says, hey, it's not here. I'm going to check it down to Aaron Jones for 8 yards.
Yeah.
Growth plays. Those are growth plays. And then you see the special plays where he's rolling out to his left and he hits Naylor on an aggressive decision or a play in the seam to TJ. So you're seeing the plays where quarterback position to me, to a person who's maybe not an expert, just kind of an evaluator and kind of a big picture thinker about it. It's about being Clark Kent and Superman. Mm-hmm. That's right. How many times are you going to put the cape on? But sometimes you just need to keep the glasses on and be that guy and kind of do those things. And that's the balance these have, because the great ones are wired to want to put the cape on all the time. And I think that we're seeing him put the cape on a couple times, 3 times, 4 times a game, but also do the Clark Kent things, the boring things that really just matriculate offensive football down the field. So those are the things that I'm really excited to see. And then just the preparation, showing up a week of practice, getting the game plan, doing all those great things, being there for his team. It's really exciting to see.
So that's why a few games ago, when O'Connell at a press conference or here at X's and O's, when he said, I was so proud of JJ, he took the check down.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I'm like, they're kind of always there.
Yep.
But the Clark Kent bit, that's a wonderful analogy by Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. It's X's and O's. The Jalen's first Redmond. It can be argued he's the defensive MVP. That's my opinion. Maybe nobody else in here, but that's my opinion. How'd you guys find him last year?
So that was Ryan Grigson is he's obviously an accomplished history in this league. He loves looking at other leagues. He loves looking where he doesn't think other people are. One of his first jobs was in the CFL, so he's got an affinity to other leagues. And so he's really hard on our pro group. He's like, hey, I don't want you, don't just gloss over those UFL guys or whatever, because the NFL missed them. The markets aren't always perfectly efficient. There are guys that slip through the cracks. So they elevated him to RG, and then RG, and he's an excitable guy. So once he gets excited about something, he's making the cut up. He's that big shadow figures in my doorway. He's like, hey, we got to sign this guy. I remember standing over his shoulder, looking at the cut up, and he's describing to me, and I'm like, for a twitchy pass rush guy, I feel like the run game is better than you're giving on. And, and so that time of the year, I think it was in May, something like that. You're not looking for Reggie White. You're looking for a good player to come in and compete for your 90 man. And see what happened. He had some unique circumstances coming out where
blood clot.
And some things like that. And so, but really, he ran a really good combine time, really good athlete, as you see the play style show up on film. And man, credit to that, to Marcus and the staff of Marjay, everybody that's really put their hands on him. He's gotten a lot better. He's really, really physical in the run game, has kind of worked on his pass rush, and then just the play style. Love his play style. Love the play style in that room. So it's been exciting to see him, and credit to personnel, credit to coaching. That's one of those aligned success stories.
And he's available, and he's one of those. I was with the Dallas Renegades a year and change ago. You can't make the club in the tub. I'm playing through this thing, and he's come through 6 sacks, like 11 TFLs. Then you get to the other Jalen, Naylor, and he's set to be an unrestricted free agent after the year. So welcome to the microcosm of the life of the general manager. It's like, yes, great sack by Wilson. Oh, great. Hey, look at Naylor. Oh, great. You know what I'm saying? Is you the now and what's coming.
Yep.
And how do you handle that?
I first start with all these guys you bring in. You call them on the draft day or you sign them in May. You're not lying when you say you want them to achieve whatever their dream is. You want the best version of themselves for their family, for themselves, and obviously in the hope of helping the Vikings. So first and foremost, I'm really happy for Jalen. I think when we drafted him, we saw this coming. And that first year, he had a really good special teams role, had some good gunner reps, and we were healthy in that room, so he didn't get the time on offense. That next offseason, he was amazing, and he just got hurt. So I think some of this stuff we're seeing was delayed a year because of the injuries. Last year, kind of inconsistent with some things, but really works hard. I mean, Keenan, I think, is the best in the NFL, and that's just hands down how it is. And so when he was going through some of those things, they're in the indoor work with him, working on some things and building up the confidence. They knew this was coming, and so just proud of him, happy of him. You saw in college, it's difficult. Sometimes there's a guy who, man, this guy looks like he's getting open, he's just not getting the ball. So if you're looking at counting stats, maybe the numbers weren't there, but we're seeing a guy who's getting open on tape, and he played on the other side of a pretty good player, plays for another team in our division I won't name. But we really liked him. Obviously, the combine stuff, an explosive player, really good early speed in the 40, and then just a really great worker. And again, you mix that with the room, the environment, a room led by Justin Jefferson. You get to watch him take Indy every day. You're going to learn some things, and you're going to listen to Tony and Keenan and all the great environment. Kevin, I mean, he just gets such great coaching that it's really happy for him. And look, we'll cross those bridges when we get to the off season. We'll have those conversations. Yep. I know he loves it here, and we love him. We'll deal with those economic realities when they come. But first and foremost, happy for him.
Is Will Reichard a human or a machine?
It's fun. I remember the conversation about that, and all our scouts, we just love the guy. And we talk a lot about kickers needing to be, you ever notice like closers in baseball?
Yeah.
I'm always just like, you got to be some messed up kind of dude. Three guys, the stadium's yelling, you got one run, 3 guys on, you kind of just look around, and it's like the Joker, almost like this chaos
pressure.
And you're kind of, kickers got to be the same.
Yeah.
And I just admire people like that. So in the process, obviously we have all the expected points added and all these metrics about how good he was, and he was top 3 in the class to us. But the story they told about him at the combine workout and some of the stuff we had heard about from the school about the competitor and how he's wired, that was the stuff that was like, oh, I think this guy has that machine or the Joker, the lover of chaos in him. He makes a field goal when he's doing the Carmelo, the 3-point thing. I mean, it's awesome to see that stuff from those ideas we had a couple years come, and then to the player he is now.
Lastly, your analogies are great, by the way. Harrison Smith, the hitman. If he's done after 14 years, so be it. He's not playing like a guy who's done. I mean, okay, so we have the cat and mouse with Dak flummoxed Dak, let's just put it that way, and Dak's high end. Last game, Darch Young running up there. Here I come. Backpedals, messed everything up. Yep. But when he did come in there, he's faster now than he was at this stage last season, don't you think?
Yeah, he puts so much into it. I'm sure if you interviewed him, he'd tell you about that crazy machine he uses to extend his career. But you talk about the mental game and how you're able to be faster because his mental game, I think Flo calls him probably the smartest player he's ever been around. So
wow. Brian Flores says that?
I'm pretty sure it was an offhand comment.
A lot of rings with a lot of Patriots. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, and he's just that level of player. And so, again, I've only been a GM with Harrison Smith here.
Right.
And he's going to be involved in some way what he's done. I'm going to make him.
That's great.
To come here and just give me the knowledge and the lifeblood that he's given me. Just this organization's been lucky to have him.
Yeah. Sam Newton's holding a sign up for me. I know you have Pat McAfee 3 minutes from now, and that's going to be an hour 15. So we're going to let you go, okay? Hey, my man, appreciate you. Love you very much. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry
all right?
Christmas to you, too.
Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, General Manager for the Minnesota Vikings. That's X's and O's.